The Nashville Predators currently find themselves in fourth place in the Central Division after 38 games skated. The midway point of the season is just around the corner. As a matter of fact, it's coming up next week. The Predators have a record of 21-16-1, 43 points, has them 8 points behind the first place Colorado Avalanche on home ice, which is where the Nashville Predators' next game will take place. They have a record of 12-9-0. Predators scored 119 goals this season. They've given up 116 against. That's a goal differential of +3. Now, since I mentioned the Central Division before we start to drill down on the Nashville Predators and the Calgary Flames matchup, let's talk about the Central Division's updated standings after tonight's action. The Colorado Avalanche, I mentioned in first place, have a record of 24-11-3, 51 points, has them 1 point ahead of the Winnipeg Jets, who are in second place with 50 points, and 3 points ahead of the third place Dallas Stars, who have 48 points. Then you'll find the fourth place Nashville Predators with 43. The fifth place Arizona Coyotes have 40 points on the season, and then St. Louis is at 37. Minnesota is at 36, and the Chicago Blackhawks are at 24 points and in 8th place in the Central Division. The Preds' 38 games skated represent tied for the most skated in the Central Division with Colorado. Most of the other teams in the Central Division have skated just 36 times so far this year. Now, once the Preds wrap up this game against Calgary Flames, Saturday on the road to Dallas, then Tuesday back home against Anaheim, Friday off to Dallas again, and then Saturday back home against the New York Islanders, and on the 15th of January in Vegas to take on the Golden Knights. So the Preds are going to be on the yo-yo between home and away for the next couple of games. That's definitely going to be an impact. There's also a back-to-back on that Friday and Saturday. So that's next week's schedule. So that's after the Nashville Predators wrap up this season series with the Calgary Flames. Calgary Flames at this moment in the season are 16-16-5 and have 37 points. That's 6th overall in the Pacific Division. On the road, they are 7-9-4. They've scored 110 goals. They've given up 121 goals against on the season. That's a goal differential of -11. Coming into this game, their most recent 5, the Calgary Flames, go back to 12-21. It was a 3-0 win at the Anaheim Ducks on the 23rd of December. It was a 5-3 loss at the LA Kings. Take the Christmas break, return from the Christmas break on December the 27th with a 2-1 loss versus the Seattle Kraken. And then on New Year's Eve, it was a 4-3 win versus the Philadelphia Flyers. And their most recent game took place on January the 2nd. It was a 3-1 win at the Minnesota Wild. Now, I mentioned this is the wrap-up of the regular season series between the Nashville Predators and the Calgary Flames. Already the third meeting of the regular season, and it's an even split. The season series is at 1-1. Each team has picked up 2 points, and the score is identical, 6-6. So let's go back and recap the previous 2 meetings between these 2 teams. It was on the 7th of November when they met for the first time. It took place in Calgary, and the Flames scored the 4-2 victory on home ice by scoring 3 goals in the third period. UC Soros went 35 out of 38. He took the loss in that game. Sherwood and McCarron picked up the goals for the Nashville Predators. Markstrom got the start for Calgary, went 16 out of 18 and picked up the victory. It was Coleman, Dubé, Kadri, and Hannafin picking up the goals for the Calgary Flames. They would meet on November the 22nd, so only about 2 weeks later, it would be at Bridgestone Arena. The Nashville Predators would score the 4-2 victory, the identical score, but reverse. The home team winning each of these games 4-2. UC Soros this time goes 24 out of 26 and picks up the victory versus Calgary. O'Reilly, Parsons, Sissons, and Carrier pick up the 4 goals for the Nashville Predators. Markstrom picks up the loss. Heavy workload for him in this game, 41 out of 45. It was Sharon Grovich and Hannafin picking up the goal. So Hannafin has a goal in each of these games against the Nashville Predators on the season. Again, just to recap, the season series is tied at 1 apiece, with each team scoring a win on home ice, each team picking up 2 points on the season, and each team scoring 6 goals on the season. Things are pretty even. So let's see where the teams match up as far as the NHL rankings and the numbers coming into this third and final regular season meeting of the season. The Calgary Flames are averaging 2.97 goals per game. That's 22nd overall in the National Hockey League, while the Predators are generating 3.08 per game. That's 17th best in the NHL. The Predators are giving up 3.05 per game. That's 15th in the league. So look at the slim margin of error for this Nashville Predators team. 3.08 goals for, 3.05 goals against. That 3.05 goals against is 15th in the league, in case I forgot to mention that. For the Calgary Flames, in the same exact metric, 3.16 goals against is 17th in the NHL. For the Nashville Predators, they're generating 30.5 shots on goal per game. It's 19th best. The Calgary Flames are generating 31.8 shots on goal per game. That is 11th best in the NHL. The Calgary Flames are also only giving up 29.6 shots per game. That is also 11th best in the National Hockey League, where the Preds are giving up 30.3 shots against per game. That's 16th in the league. When it comes to special teams, the Nashville Predators have the advantage in the power play. 21.6% conversion rate is 14th best in the National Hockey League. 29 out of 134 is the raw data. The Calgary Flames converting only 12% on the season. That's 30th overall in the NHL. 14 conversions on 117 opportunities. But on the penalty kill, it is the Flames with the decided advantage. 5th best penalty kill in the entire NHL. Only 18 power play goals against on the season. 84.6% is the kill rate. Flip over to the other side of the ledger and you see the Preds at a kill rate of 77.4%. That's 25th, 20 whole spots behind the Calgary Flames. 25th on the penalty kill, 28 power play goals against, a very, very high number. Now, let's take a look at the leading scorers and the individual statistics for each of these teams. Let's start on the visiting team side. Let's start with the Calgary Flames. It's Coleman with 14 goals and 13 assists for 27 points. He's number 1 overall on the Calgary Flames. Tightly packed top 5 scoring for the Calgary Flames. Kadri is at 10 and 16 for 26 points. Lindholm is at 8 goals and 16 assists for 24 points. Sharon Govich is 11 and 12 for 23. And Weegar is at 8 goals and 14 assists for 22 points. Huberdeau heating up as of late. He definitely had a very good game in the 3-1 win at Minnesota in their most recent game. So for the Nashville Predators top scorers, Philip Forsberg continues to lead the team in scoring. As a matter of fact, he's gotten even a little more separation now at 18 goals, 24 assists, and 42 points, number 1 overall. He's number 1 in all of those categories, in goals and assists, and of course in points. O'Reilly's at 15 goals and 17 assists for 32 points on the season. Now the captain, Roman Yossi's reached 30 points. His split works out as 8 and 22. Nyquist is sitting at 29 points with 9 goals and 20 assists on the season. Colton Sissons is at 11 goals and 9 assists for 20 points on the season. Anticipated goaltender matchup sees UC Saros and Netherholm Ice 16, 13, and 1 is his overall record. A 904 save percentage, a 2.91 goals against average, and now 2 shutouts on the season. Markstrom has gotten both starts against the Nashville Predators' team. He won on home ice 16 out of 18, lost on the road to Bridgestone Arena 41 out of 45. Overall on the season, 10, 10, and 2, a 907 save percentage, 2.65 goals against average. And again, UC Saros also started in both of those games. In the first game, 37 out of 38, taking the loss. In the second game, 24 out of 26, and picking up the victory. Fascinating game between the Nashville Predators and the Calgary Flames. No doubt the Flames are trending in a better direction than they have been. The Predators are also a better team than when they faced off against the Calgary Flames in November. So excited to see this matchup and very interested to see how this works out at Bridgestone Arena. The Preds can't get caught looking ahead at an incredibly huge Central Division game coming up on Saturday on the road in Dallas. The Preds have to maintain their focus coming off this game against Chicago, against Calgary, before they can turn the page and head off to Dallas for the first road game of the 2024 calendar. That's got you all set up for the Nashville Predators, the Calgary Flames at Bridgestone Arena, closing out the regular season series already. Third meeting between these two Western Conference rivals. We got to go back and talk about what happened between the Preds and the Blackhawks. It's called the Rebirth Sports Full Game Recap, and it's coming up next right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast.